Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's January 1st. This is the Pest and Lawn Ginja, and this is What's Wrong with My Lawn? What better way to walk into the new year than to do a What's Wrong with My Lawn segment? Got a person here, they're tired of their lawn, kind of looking dingy. It's January 1st, and we're in Tempe, Arizona. Let's go check it out. Now, for those of you who aren't acquainted with my processes or my channel, I try to put a method to the madness. So we're gonna take our 5-step approach, the 5-step Ginja approach. Number 1, we're gonna check color. Number 2, we're gonna check overall pattern. 3 is a water saturation test. 4, we're going to check to see the debris on top of the soil. And 5, we're going to do a pull test. Now, a combination of all 5 of these steps will take the guesswork out and tell us what's going on with the lawn. But let's take a brief walkthrough. Let's jump right into step number 1 and look at the overall pattern. As you can see here, it looks like pretty much the entire lawn is the same. So we're going to chalk this up to just an overall even distribution of problematic areas. And the main issue is the color. The color is just kind of dingy. Granted, it is January 1st, if you can believe that. We're going to need to check out the soil, but as you can see, it just kind of looks tired. Now, since we have an overall even pattern, we're going to take a few of these spots and move on to step number 2, and that is going to be color. Now, this color just looks kind of tired, but let's kind of get into the lawn and just kind of look at it. As you can see here, we've got these pockets of what appears to be dead grass, and then the grass that's flourishing, it just looks tired. You can see by a couple of these pieces here, like this one, it looks like we're dealing with a little bit of red thread. Red thread is interesting. That usually has to deal with nutrients, more specifically with nitrates. And we're also dealing with this light haze. It's not quite lime green, but it's pretty close. And then we have these pockets of just dead. Now, one dead giveaway is the time of the year. We're dealing with an area where people get to choose between warm season grasses and cool season grasses. Now, let's take the temperature so I can kind of show you my point, and then I'll show you a couple of dead giveaways. I'm going to go ahead and take the temperature of the soil. I want to see what's going on. It's been a little bit cooler here in Arizona. I swear me and my family are cursed, and we brought cold weather. But right now we're sitting at about 52 degrees outside temperature. I want to see what the soil is actually doing. Hit some rocks. That's pretty typical for this area. All right, let's see how far we get down. Now, I'm guessing we're going to be somewhere between 49 and 50 degrees would be my best guess. Your cool season grasses will still continue to grow and flourish, once you get above 50. And it's kind of an ideal temperature, in my opinion, for cool season grasses because it doesn't require much. It's not going to require a lot of water. It's not going to require a lot of supplemental nutrients, meaning you don't have to overfeed it like you would commonly have to do during the summer. Well, as you can see by the thermometer, we're stopped at 51.5 degrees, and this is kind of ideal. Now, the type of grass that we're dealing with at this point is going to be a ryegrass. Now, if I were a guessing man, they have actually overseeded with this ryegrass over a common Bermuda. And you can see here we've got a stolon, and then we've actually got some just regular cool season grass that doesn't come off of the stolon. Step number 3 is our soil saturation test. Very important to understand if we're watering correctly or if we're getting too much water or too little water. Now, getting a soil sample is really important because we want to see what kind of soil that we're dealing with. And as you can see here, this is a pretty compact clay that we've got going here, and I would assume that this is pretty common soil to have, especially here in the area. This red clay, I mean, there's a couple of positives to having clay. It can hold a lot of nutrients. The downside is it can really get compact pretty easily if you're not staying on top of the water. Now, given the fact that we're January 1st, the outside temperature is around 50 degrees, this is pretty optimal. If we were having above 80-90 degree temps, I would say that this isn't quite enough. But with the temps, the way that they're at, we're not experiencing a lot of evaporation. This is good. Wow. So I just want to show you the core sample that I just pulled out in that area. As you can see, it's pure dirt. I mean, that's a good 2.5 feet of just clay. Sometimes we hit tree trunks and matter underneath that creates sinkholes, but this is just straight over watering. So I'm really concerned. I'm going to mark this area for the homeowner to view, but really think we either have a broken line or a broken sprinkler head. All right, next step in the process, guys, is our debris test. We want to see how much loose debris is possibly on top of the soil to see if we're getting anything that's plugging up the fertilizer or anything that is causing excess matter that could potentially cause fungal issues. Now, since I don't have my handy dandy Thatch Rake, it's about the only thing I forgot to bring on this trip, we're going to use a steel prong garden rake. Let's get to it. Now, all things considered, I would give this debris test a solid B. As you can see here by the video, there's not really any debris that is sitting on the subsurface other than these stolons. And my original inclination that these guys have Bermuda grass for summer grass and they've got ryegrass for winter grass is now 100% solid. The issue that we face here is Bermuda grass towards the end of the season has to be cut short. And as you can see here, these stolons are just kind of poking to the surface right now. And that's one of the issues that's clouding our color. Now, it's important in these situations to understand what the customer wants. They potentially want to have a lawn that's green all year round. Now, they've got Bermuda grass, and that actually goes dormant once the ground temperatures get below 65 degrees. So I'm guessing that what they've done is they've overseeded with a ryegrass to kind of give them that green look over the winter time. And that's a pretty common thing to do in this area. As you can see with the neighbors here, they actually have a full Bermuda lawn. As you can see, it's just dormant. There's no color to it. There's nothing wrong with doing this unless you want a green lawn. And so that's why we turn our attention back here, and we need to focus on the annual grass and the overall health of the annual grass. Let's move on to step number 5, the pull test. All right, on to step number 5, the pull test. The pull test is a really important thing because we want to see if there's any turf insect or any previous damages like turf insects or fungal activity that have disrupted the natural growing process of the roots. We want to make sure everything is intact. Okay, so our overall analysis is with the watering test, that's always going to be 70 to 80% of the issues, like period. They've definitely got some sprinkler issues that need to be dealt with. Now, this time of the year, it's not as big of a deal because they're not over watering all these areas. So I'm not as concerned. Now, color-wise, this even distribution of color, there's some things we can do about it, some things we can't do about it. Overall, we've got the Bermuda that's clouding the color. The Bermuda's gone dormant. The only way to get rid of that kind of white haze is going to be to mow the Bermuda down. Now, we've missed our window of opportunity to do this safely with the ryegrass that we have. So unless they have a greens mower, or a real mower that can get less than 1/2 inch, this is going to be a tough problem to mask. Now, the way that we're going to do it, since they don't have a greens mower, is that we're going to let that ryegrass grow out to about 2.5 inches. That's going to take care of a lot of this color issue. Now, overall, the grass doesn't appear to be growing very much, and that's primarily because it's got lack of nutrients. Now, color-wise, when we got into the grass, we noticed that you guys have some, or these guys have some red thread issues. Red thread is usually a common indication of lack of nutrients or specifically lack of nitrogen. Now, I was able to get a hold of the homeowners, and indeed, I was correct. They did overseed with an annual ryegrass this last October. So we know exactly what we're dealing with. In my opinion, most likely what's happening is this annual grass seed that they used wasn't micro-coated, similar to the Barenbrug does with their yellow jacket, where they actually put a seed coating on that has the micronutrients for it. And typically what happens is you get these cheaper seeds that start sucking the nutrients out of the lawn, and you're left with this really weird, deficient kind of, it's not really a lime green, it just looks tired. Now, since I've been visiting the Humigrow area, they're giving me a product to try out. It's basically a combination of 3 different products. Their Max Pack, their Turflex 7, and their Breakout, which is a really, really good product. Now, this is going to help stimulate a little bit of growth, but it's also going to give the micronutrients that the lawn actually needs. All right, guys, I got everything mixed up. We've got about 1,300 square feet of grass in this front yard. I'm going to end up using a soil drench, and per the label, we're 6 ounces per 1,000 square feet. And so we've got about 7.5 ounces here just to make sure that we have enough, but let's get it going.
Try to deny it, yeah, we vibe it, yeah, you make me sing. Me so high, oh, like a mile, me don't even mind, oh, hey. You had me at the pile, then you smile, and the silly things you say. Tell me something I don't know. Get me loving like never before.
Levelawn 2019, baby.
Let's get it done.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, that was a little sloppy, but it took me a little bit to figure out the overlap situation with the device I was using. I've never really used that one before. It was coming out like a banshee. It's coming out real fast, but I got a good overlap, got 50%. In these situations, I really watch the concrete to make sure that I'm getting good, even coverage. But man, I'm soaking wet and it's freezing, man. It's probably, what, 50 degrees right now? First spray of 2019, top that. Well, I'm really excited, guys. Thanks for hanging in there with me, and thanks for subscribing to my channel. Love to hear from you. Give me a big hello in the comments. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what your New Year's resolutions are. Until next time, guys, it's Pest and Lawn Ginja. I'm out.